filmes, convidados ilustres, um lindo cenário e um público ávido por novas histórias. Mas este não é um festival de cinema como qualquer outro. Sitges é muito mais especial.
It's always been sort of a dream to come here.
El mejor festival europeo de terror, de cine fantástico.
If you're going to go to one festival, it's like Sitges is the most fun.
Estar aquí es un premio.
It's hard not to be a horror filmmaker and not know the Sitges Film Festival.
Num lugar paradisíaco da Espanha, a 20 minutos de Barcelona, acontece o Festival Internacional de Cinema Fantástico de Sitges. Estar aqui com um filme é o sonho de vários cineastas.
Las películas se pelean por estar, de género se pelean por estar aquí en competición, y eso hace que haya una acumulación, incluso saturación de películas buenas.
Me decían que es el festival que más le gusta a los directores, y es verdad, porque la gente se te acerca, porque la gente viene a ver las películas.
No hay un día, un solo día, en el que no me sienta afortunado por tener el privilegio de guiar a esta comunidad.
Aquí la gente viene muy predispuesta a disfrutar de lo que va a ver, a pasárselo bien, a implicarse también en las películas. Hay reposiciones, hay fiestas zombies, hay cosas muy divertidas.
It became one of our dreams to come to Sitges.
We heard so much great thing about the festival, and to be able to experience it with our first feature, I think it's
a dream come true.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I write, whether it's Western crime, horror, or science fiction, is genre. And most of my favorite, movies and books are genre. So I was happy that a festival like this existed in Europe.
That it's an extremely erudite and intelligent audience. So you can feel that they're meeting your film on a very high level.
Being in a place like Sitges, which is more about an experience with everyone else, there's just so much love going around.
Neste festival, acontece o encontro anual de personagens ícones do cinema de gênero, como serial killers, super-heróis, fantasmas e, claro, os zumbis.
Spanish people really are into zombie, but they are into horror. Altså, ja. We are not that in Denmark.
Lige nu findes der ikke nogen specifik behandling.
In Danish, the film is called Sorgenfri, and it's the town where I live. Then I thought it would be perfect to make a zombie film there, because Sorgenfri is like the town without sorrows.
Sitges tiene su público y es un público a la vez entusiasta y exigente, y es un público del que yo normalmente hago parte. Los infectados son las criaturas fantásticas que más me gustan porque no dejan de ser personas normales y corrientes, y con esta película quisimos darle un poco una vuelta de toda manera a este concepto y hicimos que esta infección sea temporal. Entonces, quien es cazador deja de correr, no sabe dónde está y descubre que es cazado y que otro que estaba persiguiendo antes va por él. Entonces tenemos este juego de continuos cambios de roles que creo que da mucho juego y ofrece al público diversión.
There's something like 1,000 insects every year that they discover in jungles that we have no idea what they are.
I'm fine. It's just a small bug bite.
Well, it looks infected.
So the idea basically came from, what if one of those bug bites got worse? What if it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse?
He's a monster.
Who is?
Em sua 48ª edição, Sitges é o festival mais antigo destinado ao cinema fantástico e de terror. Durante 10 dias, o público pula da cadeira do cinema com grandes ou pequenas produções de todos os lugares do mundo.
Ouais, je rêvais. Que t'étais vivante.
It's fun to create something. It's rewarding to create something, and people get something out of it and get stimulated by it and get excited about it.
Ahora, en mi bolsillo ahora mismo, lo que tengo son entradas para otras películas. Puedes ver películas.
Para estes diretores, fazer um filme é provocar o espectador, trazendo para o cinema seus medos mais profundos, seja em forma de fantasmas, maníacos assassinos ou até a destruição da humanidade.
I'm not so sure.
Te metes, tanto sea de terror, ¿no? Te metes en esas habitaciones o locos o zombies o lo que sea, o asesinos en series que matan a toda la familia. Esa risa tonta que...
What I love about a horror movie is not when it just makes me go when I'm watching it, but when a week later I'm still bothered by it, and I can't sleep at night, and I'm really freaked out by it. That's a horror movie. A really great horror film is like a very satisfying meal. If you've seen a great horror film, you don't want to see another movie for a week.
I don't think there's any reason why science fiction shouldn't have very detailed or rich characters. It's an actor-driven piece. There are 3 actors on screen. There's no special effects. It's all very internalized. The insides of the characters were all we had to show an audience.
You've been lucky.
It wasn't luck.
I'm a fan of good movies. That's what I like to say. And if there's a really great story and there's blood everywhere, I love it.
Oh God, that's blood. Lucy, what did you do? But I had to.
It's such an extreme movie, and young kids being tortured and little girls being tortured and victimized. With the small audiences I've had, the 5-10 people that have come to see it, they all feel like they're on the edge of their seat, and there's that tension that we wanted to keep going throughout the whole thing that I hope we achieve.
It's been too long. You don't know you can't be sure? I am. Not sure enough to do this? It's them!
Todo ano, Sitges presta uma homenagem para quem fez história no cinema de gênero. Este ano, o prêmio Máquina do Tempo foi entregue aos diretores Oliver Stone, Terry Jones e Nicholas Winding Refn, além do grande criador de efeitos especiais Rick Baker.
When somebody wants to give you a Lifetime Achievement Award, you're of course very, very grateful that there's appreciation, but you also get a bit scared, like, does that mean I have to stop? Is it over?
Oh my God, it's Rick Baker.
Just got out of the cabin and went to Rick Baker's masterclass, which was really special.
It always amazes me that somebody even knows who I am. And, you know, I mean, makeup was my hobby as a kid, and it was something I loved doing. And you know, I started when I was 10, and in my head, I'm still the 10-year-old who wants to be a makeup artist when he grows up, you know. And
o prêmio Nosferatu foi entregue à atriz de filmes fantásticos Rossana Yanni.
The vampire's only a legend of this place.
Cuando tú crees que ya todo está terminado y dices, bueno, tengo casi 80 porque tengo 77 y medio, y dices, tengo casi 80, ¿cómo van a pensar en mí? De golpe te llaman para ofrecerte eso, el cariño, porque esto es una forma de... Fue muy bonito.
Sitges é um festival que recebe muitos trabalhos independentes. Por mais chocante ou sangrenta que seja a visão do diretor, ela chega aos fãs sem a interferência de grandes estúdios.
It's based on a comic.
when you do films like this, you understand that there is a ghost and that it's a brain ghost as well. It was fun to actually try and play with that. Then it's super cool to have like girls in school uniforms killing off each other.
As a group, we were all very interested in the psychology of serial killers. To a certain degree, this film explores that in the sense that there's a lot of common threads with that as a serial killer, and so we wanted to focus on the childhood of that. And this film has that. It has like sort of neglect, isolation, growing up on the edge of society.
I see you.
A veces las personas más cercanas son capaces de las cosas más terribles.
La idea empieza buscando contar la historia de un lugar muy reducido y el juego de poder, ¿no? Esas estructuras que pasan en empresas o en sociedades, ¿no? Como siempre hay un poder visible y luego los poderes en la sombra, la gente que está debajo, ¿no? Y entonces un poquito eso era un poco el punto de partida. Y después me pareció muy interesante hacerlo en un lugar deslocalizado, en el tiempo y en el espacio. No, es un lugar donde la gente va prácticamente dormida, van como zombies.
Hoy estamos aquí para despedir a aquellos que han muerto por cometer la imprudencia de acercarse a la frontera.
Solo quiero que me digas qué es esto, qué es la ciudad, en qué estaba metido tu marido, por qué estaban allí.
¿De verdad crees que fue un accidente?
They're called cartridges. The bullet is a part that enters your brain if you keep talking shit.
Setting a siege movie in a punk rock venue while a live concert was going on was like just so the only sort of high concept element of the movie.
And this gun only has 5 cartridges, not 6.
Literally a peek behind the curtain of behind the scenes. And yeah, that's a whole layer of the film that is about a very insider culture. You know, I try not to get bogged down in that. I don't want it to be a hurdle for the audience. But the characters always, there's a lot of detail that goes into the story, and hopefully it comes across like it's a very realistic portrayal of life on the road.
So please, shut the fuck up.
3D printing is becoming a huge thing. Somebody discovered quite by accident that the size of a human cell is exactly the same size as an inkjet nozzle. And so they started printing biological matter, and they built these armatures out of plastic, and they literally print layers of stem cells onto them, and these things grow into tissue. And they're making livers like this, and they're making ears, and they're making hands, whatever. I mean, they are making organs. And so the idea that somebody could make an entire human being doesn't even seem that far-fetched.
That was the hardest thing, to try and find that balance between mythology and science and nature. Because if you go too far in one direction, it becomes too fantastical. And if you go too far the other way, it's not, to me, it wasn't imaginative or enough. So it was trying to find a balance that could be thrilling and told visually. And I wanted it to feel scary because it felt real.
Just baby dreams.
You should never have come here!
O Festival de Sitges também comprova que o amor pode ser fantástico.
Electra, what is your ultimate fantasy?
Siempre pensé que faltaban así en el paisaje cinematográfico películas que hablan del amor como yo lo conocía en la vida. Podría ser un género cinematográfico por sí mismo, la historia de amor pasional.
Horror's great to watch with friends and with an audience. I think horror and comedy are the two genres that really, they're the most fun to watch with other people because it's great to laugh together, but it's also you don't want to be terrified on your own when it's like, when everyone's gasping, it's like communal gasping. Yeah. Horror is a great date film.
I'm gonna dream about you.
3, 2, 1.
O Festival de Sitges também comprova que é possível romper as barreiras do gênero. A plateia pode ficar aterrorizada com um western, road movie e até com uma comédia romântica.
The main theme of Turbo Kid was nostalgia. I was really wanted to play with this and really remind people from their childhood, because that's really a love letter to our childhood as well. So we had a lot of influence from kids movies that we love, like The Goonies and Neverending Stories, also BMX Bandit and the Saturday morning cartoon also.
This is it, soldier. We have to hit these Zaca machines with everything we've got. Find them, kill them, and back their heads on pikes. Loi 2129. Quand on plonge un corps dans la baignoire, le téléphone sonne.
There is a little sentence from Woody Allen who says, if God exists, I suppose he had good excuses.
Dieu existe. Il habite à Bruxelles.
The second funny idea we had is we spoke a lot about God and his son, but never about his wife and his daughter. And his daughter is 10 years old. She's a rebel. She hates her father. And to take revenge, she put on internet the date of death of everybody. So suddenly everybody has to think what is he going to do with the rest of his life.
Et la question la plus fréquente sur les réseaux sociaux.
62 ans à vivre, 62, test.
It works like a comedy, but it can speak about things that are tiny, painful also.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Un miracle.
No way! Everything okay? It's been better, I'm afraid.
The idea for two 10-year-old boys driving around in a stolen police car is actually based on a recurring dream I've had.
All right, kids, one's over. You are in a whole hell of a lot of trouble. Do you understand?
Kevin's character is definitely not the most reputable guy in the world, but you can't help but sympathize with him when you see everything that he has to go through to get his police car back.
Obviously, there's horror in this movie. First and foremost, this is a Western, and what a Western means to me is it is an adventure story where the Western frontier is a crucible, both moral and physical, for the main characters. And so I wanted it to be an adventure story, and I wanted it to be an ensemble piece where you watch the relationships between these characters grow and learn about them through the journey and through how they relate with one another and how they handle adversity.
Don't be scared. I am a friend.
You aren't.
Damn you!
You had no cause. If you want to question my morals, do it later.
Detalhe importante. Como Sitges é um festival que pensa muito nos fãs, aqui não existem barreiras entre o público e seus ídolos.
It's a good reminder of why I make movies, to be close to fans.
Y es sorprendente que hayan gentes de muchas edades que vengan con pósteres, que vengan con camisetas, que vengan todo para firmar.
It's perhaps one of the few places in the world where I can actually walk down the street and somebody asks me for an autograph.
Talked to so many people that were so pleasant, so happy. I had so many kisses on my cheeks.
Es muy difícil acabar dos frases seguidas. Estás teniendo una conversación con alguien y de repente alguien te toca en el hombro, te giras como ¡oh, cuánto tiempo! Tal, y de repente te giras y alguien dice ¿puedes firmarme? No sé qué. Y luego te empiezas a decir la conversación y de repente te toca en el hombro y es como una foto, una foto. Es como la mejor manera de decidirlo. Yo en mi vida normal soy Clark Kent y cuando estoy aquí soy Superman.
Wait, selfie time.
Everybody is kind of hanging out in the same areas, you know, so you have the regular customers are hanging out in the same room with like Takashi Miike, you know, and all these different directors they admire, and you can just go right up to them.
You talk to everybody, you take pictures with everybody. They expect a show when they walk up. They want to be thrilled. They want to be important in your life, you know, so you have to treat everybody like it's a new show.
I'm a fan, you know, I mean, I'm a fan of his work, and So I appreciate somebody who appreciates the same stuff I do. You know.
Look, what's he doing? Maybe he's looking to go to the bathroom. Here he comes.
Já sabemos que estes diretores se divertem aterrorizando a plateia. Mas, afinal, o que eles gostam de assistir no cinema?
I don't value, in general, being terrified. Except I'm happy to make you terrified when I make my movies, so I don't know.
I'm a big fan because I saw a lot of zombies when I was really young.
Me encanta ver todas las películas de terror. O sea, cuanto más miedo dan, mejor. Pero no puedo verlas solo, o sea, las tengo que ver con alguien. Reconozco que soy un cagao, un cagón.
Yo soy fanática del cine fantástico y de ciencia ficción, pero no puedo ver terror, ni sola, ni acompañada, ni de ninguna manera, porque soy cagada, no lo siguiente.
Me asusta mucho. Y luego sueño todo el rato si veo alguna película de terror.
Hay un personaje que a mí me encanta de siempre, que me fascina, que es Drácula. A mí me encantaría hacer una peli de Drácula.
Tú eres un chupóptero.
The people who've made the greatest horror films are the greatest directors, like Stanley Kubrick, Ingmar Bergman made horror films, Hour of the Wolf. You know, even Wild Strawberries, the beginning of it is like a horror film. We may, you know, parts of Fanny and Alexander are like horror movies.
Boo! There you are. Boo!
48 anos fazendo história entre os festivais. 48 anos celebrando um dos gêneros mais antigos do cinema.
O sea, es fantástico, ¿no? Poder estar aquí en el césped, con una piscina, con este sol, con este tiempo.
This is really a great space for me to explore the things I'm interested in, and the festival really reflects that.
Who the hell wants to be normal?
Filmmaking is the crown jewel of mass entertainment. It is still the greatest invention. The cinema magic is that art, which film is a way for us to be touched emotionally. And by being penetrated with art, it inspires a thought, an idea. That's the magic of creativity, is that it inspires when it's great.
So we're in the movie.
Festival Internacional de Cinema Fantástico de Sitges. O melhor do cinema você vê aqui no Cinemax.
Gracias, Sitges.